Dave Gettleman, John Mara, why are you still in the office? Get the fuck out. You should already be gone. Why are you there? Look what you've brought us. Andrew Thomas, who didn't even start today. We could have had CeeDee Lamb. He was in the same draft as Andrew Thomas.
Yes, he was.
But we don't get him. Because why? We think that Andrew Thomas is going to be our starting tackle for the next 12 years. He didn't even make it through week 5. Ooh.
Giants fans, you are now watching a very rant and rage-filled episode of Family Bonding, the first mother and son G-Men post-game show. But before we get into what will be, again, a rage and rant-filled episode, we want you to do this.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell so you can be notified of our next episode. You don't want to miss it.
All right, son, I'm going to give the floor to you. I think we need to start with you. Go ahead.
I don't know where to start. I'm having one of the worst weeks I've had in a very long time. In a very long time.
That's not good.
My Michael Strahan jersey was stolen. We get into this game. We're missing players. I wake up to calls for work. We're not going to go into that because I don't need to talk about work on YouTube. But you can get an idea of how annoyed I was this morning on a Sunday.
Yes.
And then I go into this bullshit. At least 5 players are done for the next 2 weeks. At least.
Minimum. Yes.
5. Of those 5, Saquon Barkley. I'm just going to remind everybody. The last time I decided to wear a Saquon Barkley jersey, he tore his ACL. I decided to put the jersey on. Before the game started, I said, you know what? I'm putting on Saquon Barkley's jersey. He played well the game before. A year later, I do the same thing. And what happens? He's done for the season. I have been afraid. I had a superstition. I'm not going to wear his jersey just because I don't want him to get hurt. I've worn Lawrence Taylor's jersey. I've worn that bum Darius Slayton's jersey. I've worn Jabril Peppers' jersey. Peppers ain't even playing. In fact, Peppers got punched in the face by his own teammate because he can't control his emotions. We'll get into that in a second because I have a word with him. I have something to say about Mr. Toney, but we're not going to get there because there's too much in front of me that needs to be tackled. What is Jason Garrett doing? Trevon Diggs had 2 would-be interceptions before we threw our first pick. You throw to him again. That's 2 picks. And before I stopped watching the game, we threw another pick at the end of the game. What are we doing? Why are we targeting the same people? Trevon Diggs is leading his team in interceptions. He is literally their best defender. But we, for some reason, decide, let's just keep throwing it to him. Bruh. Anybody, it doesn't matter. He covered CJ Board. He covered Kenny Galladay. He covered KEDARIUS Toney. He covered everyone. He covered Evan Engram. He covered everybody. Every time it was thrown in that man's direction, nothing good happened. But we still throw to the same person in same area. For what? I don't understand. I don't understand. So we lose Saquon. 3rd year in a row he's been gone. Daniel Jones gets hurt because now he's trying to be Saquon, running it.
That's a bad situation when your quarterback is trying to be Saquon Barkley.
This reminds me, what is our defense doing? Why are they so soft? They were the softest I've seen them today. Aside from some good plays today, people are hugging. What is this? This is what I saw the whole game. We're hugging them, but they are beating the crap out of us. Beating the crap out of us. That was the most embarrassing Cowboys-Giants game I've ever seen. Ezekiel Elliott literally jogged into the end zone. He literally jogged in.
He literally
jogged in, looked at our teammate. He literally jogged into the end zone.
You call it a jog. It was more of a prance. It was an arrogant prance.
It was the Deion Sanders step.
Yes.
It was the Deion Sanders step. Looking right at our defender, and our defender looks at the camera like, ooh. Like, who did I just do that? Embarrassing. This is the worst game of the season right now. We've seen the Giants lose back-to-back games in the last 3 seconds. Ooh. Yes. This is the worst game. We've lost to Pat Shermer, who had a 5-12 record with us. Bruh.
It's extremely embarrassing, actually.
KEDARIUS Toney. What the fuck was that? I didn't know we were in the UFC. I didn't know. I'm sorry, but you get thrown to the ground. So the first thing you decide to do after your teammate who does something stupid anyway, Evan Engram,
Engram,
shoves the guy.
you know better, boy.
What did you do to deserve to shove anybody? Get 18 yards? Congratulations. You barely got 20 yards. So you decide to shove someone because you're frustrated that you suck. And then KEDARIUS Toney decides, I'm in a boxing ring, and throws a punch and gets ejected. He's the only person on the field that was making a difference. And he decides to foolishly get ejected in a game we already were losing. Why did we draft him? Why did we trade down to get him? What was the point? Dave Gettleman, John Mara, why are you still in the office? Get the fuck out. You should already be gone. Why are you there? Look what you've brought us. Andrew Thomas, who didn't even start today. We could have had CeeDee Lamb. He was in the same draft as Andrew Thomas.
Yes, he was.
But we don't get him. Because why? We think that Andrew Thomas is going to be our starting tackle for the next 12 years. He didn't even make it through week 5. Ooh. I could sit here for 3 more hours and talk about everything the Giants have done wrong since 2015. But I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to let the mother talk because maybe some of you YouTubers out there don't want to just see me yell for the next 5 minutes. The mother, how do you feel about the game? Because I let it all out. I'm good.
I'm glad you were able to rage therapy yourself after this game. It was a very difficult game to watch as a lifelong Giants fan. The moment that I felt that we've made some terrible decisions, not only today, but in general, that it came up. I've tried to suppress these feelings of, the front office, they make terrible decisions. But the moment I felt the most rage during this New York Giants Dallas game was the moment that our quarterback, Daniel Jones, who for some reason, I think it was Joe Buck, said he's one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the league. I can't really say that that's true. He has shown that he has legs, but I wouldn't use the word athletic.
He is athletic, but he's just not athletic.
No, he's not Cam Newton. And I have something on that too. He goes in. I don't know what the plan was. Did they think that these things couldn't happen when you start to have your quarterback take that type of risk in the red zone? He's out there and he goes in and he has it was a perfect head, helmet to helmet situation. The first thing I said is, in business, because I'm in business, I'm a businesswoman. You have a CEO who's solid. You always have a COO, a chief operating officer, who's a great backup should your CEO do something stupid or retires. You have somebody to put in place. We don't have anybody of note or of a caliber of a starting quarterback to take the place of our now caliber, because that's what we're calling him, our caliber, starting quarterback, NFL caliber. We don't have anybody. I screamed, and I want to apologize to my neighbors. I'm sure they heard me. I yelled like I was watching the son on the field when he used to play football. And I screamed, no. And I had that feeling that I used to have when I used to watch the sun, where I wanted to just run out on the field. I'm in New Jersey. I couldn't do that with Daniel Jones, but I felt that. Because I know, and we all saw for ourselves, we have no one to take the place of a starting quarterback. This Mike Glennon guy, he's not that boy. He's not. Period. But here we were in the position in the middle of a rivalry divisional game, and we had to put our lame backup quarterback in for the rest of the game.
Bum.
He is a bum. Joe Judge should be ashamed of himself. Dave Gettleman should be ashamed of themselves. How did they let this happen? You know what my reaction was? Somebody get Cam Newton on the phone. We need Cam. Who else can go? All the other good starting quarterbacks who could be backup, they've already been taken. We need Cam. Cam, I think, would have done a great job out there today because he would have been feeling himself. They're not going to call Cam. They're not going to call him. I'd be surprised to see an update tomorrow from the Giants that they're in talks with Cam Newton's people. I'd be surprised to see that they're talking to anybody. to serve as a viable backup for our team. So here we are with Glennon. And I don't know who is on the practice team at QB. I don't even know who that is. I don't even know what that looks like. I have no idea. We're screwed. Crappy backup quarterback is in. We've got KEDARIUS Toney balling out, looking like the gadget guy that we all saw. But if you watched our NFL draft video for 2021, we brought up some good points about what we knew about this young man. And they've said that he's unstable on the field. Mm-hmm. Well, I think we saw that for ourselves today. We saw it for ourselves. When I saw that young man go for that punch, again, I screamed like I was watching my own son on the field. I got down on my knees. I wish I had a video on myself. I yelled and jumped on my knees and said, no, don't do that. And there was a full-on fight. Actually, in my years of watching Giants football, that type of fight with the punch thrown like that, it hasn't happened very often. I really can't think of the last time. But here we are with our first pick in the 2021 draft, deciding to, as the son said, basically go in to a UFC fight mode and start to deck his opponents. I can't. It's too much. Kenny Golladay out. Who's the starting roster?
There is no starting roster. You might as well just put Evan Engram out of the right receiver. That's how many people we've got. I don't know who else goes out there. We have no starting receivers whatsoever. Saquon Barkley's ankle was the size of a freaking baseball. Like, just that was gross. I was horrified. I don't know why they kept showing it on the freaking screen. I had to take a lap around my apartment every time they showed it because I'm wearing this man's jersey after I said I would never wear it during a game. And I try because he was my hero last week. So I put the jersey on and the curse continues.
Well, I decided that I was not wearing any paraphernalia of the Giants except for this hat this week because I wasn't feeling anybody's number or anything like that. So I'm wearing black because I am in mourning. I am in mourning for the New York Giants. Poor decision-making in the front office. I am in mourning for all these players. I'm in mourning for, believe it or not, for KEDARIUS Toney because I want to see him succeed, but he's got to get his emotions in order. I do. I really, and I'm sure, and Joe Judge looked really angry with him, really, really angry.
As you should.
And I'm hoping, yes, and I really hope that they have, some productive conversations.
Hey, look, I hope he's ready for round 2 since he wants to fight because he's about to fight with Joe Judge in the locker room.
Yeah, I hope that there's some productive conversations this
week. Mother, any final message?
I do. I got an update from the Giants app yesterday with photos of the New York Giants players in very fancy suits on their way to the plane to go to Dallas. I don't know whose idea it was to have a fancy photo shoot as these fools were trying to get on a plane to go work and play a game, a very important game. But they're out there, trying to be fashion models on the tarmac at the airport. I don't know what that was about. But you know what? Jokes on them.
Thank you, everybody, New York Giants fans. This is probably the most enraged podcast you'll see in a long time. Please remember to like and subscribe and drop a comment and let us know what you thought about this rage-infused rant and podcast. We really want to know what you guys think. And make sure you guys head over and follow our Twitters and all of our other socials because we all do our own thing. We have our own side hustles. All those links will be in the description below. Take care, everybody. Goodbye for now.
Peace.